welcome to the studio. Hope everyone is doing well. There's not a whole lot to mention as far as what's going on. We do have new online exclusive items that are, okay, let me just bring this up. So we do have some new online exclusive items that went live on the 5th. And yeah, so now you can order those. So I want to make mention about next week. Okay. So next week on Thursday, starting on Thursday, Stampin' Up is having their on stage event in Houston, Texas. And I will be going to that. So for the what would be a Friday live is actually going to be something I'm going to pre-record. What I'm actually going to try doing and see if it works. I'm going to do kind of like a live, but I'm going to set it as private, and then come 7 o'clock at night on Friday, I will just switch it to make it public. So I'll see if that works. I haven't done that yet. I've noticed when I do my lives that for some reason, when I'm done with the live, it's putting the video in private mode when I put it in public, when I set it up to do the live. So I don't know why it does that, but so I'm going to do that. I also, for Thursday, I already pre-recorded that. I've already pre-recorded my St. Patrick's Day video. That's not this Sunday, but next Sunday is St. Patrick's Day. So that one is done, and that one's scheduled to go on Sunday the 17th. So for next Friday, I'm going to be featuring the A Little Latte Sweet Collection. That is a new online exclusive item. I would show it to you, however, I don't have it in my hands yet. I won't have it until Monday, but I'm looking forward to playing with that. And basically, any set that Stampin' Up! Comes out with that has to do with coffee, I'm on board for it because I love my coffee. So with that being said, let me go ahead and flip this camera and get things lined up, and we'll get started. Let's see, flip that. Are you gonna flip? Okay, there we go. Let me just line this up. Okay, so for tonight, I will be featuring the Fluffiest Friends bundle. This too is an online exclusive item. It's not in any of our printed catalogs. Um, the projects that we are making tonight, if you would like the free card kits for what we are creating, I will, with a minimum order of $35. And if you order by Wednesday the 13th, I will send you the card kits for free. And I just saw Diane. Hello, girlfriend. I haven't seen you in such a long time. I wish you were going to on stage. Hello, Yvonne. Yeah, well, you can be specific, but you're probably in the living room there, Yvonne. But welcome, Diane. I'm so glad that you're here. Hope everything, you're doing well and all that. So for these projects, you can see that in the stamp set there's no greeting. So I'm bringing in a few other stamp sets. So I'm also going to be using the Days to Remember stamp set. This is our calendar set that's in the annual catalog. I'll also be using the Stylish Shapes dies and the tailor-made tag dies. And also I'll be using the Basics 3D embossing folders for all 3 projects. Okay, so to get started, I have, where's all my card kits now? Okay. So for my first card, I'm going to be working with the cute bear. So I have a piece of pecan pie for my card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5. I have it scored at 4.25. I'm also using the glorious Gingham 6x6 DSP pack. This is in our annual catalog. In this pack, there's berry burst, blueberry bushel, lemon lime twist, pecan pie, and pretty peacock, and it's all like this diamond pattern on one side and the gingham on the other. So I have 3 pieces of the pecan pie one. Each one of these measures 4 by 1.5. And actually this one we're going to flip and we're going to use that one. I also have another layer. This is sweet sorbet and that measures 4.5 by 3.25. I have a piece of basic white that measures 4.25 by 3, and I have already embossed it using that crosshatch patterned embossing folder from that 3D Basics embossing folder. I really love those embossing folders. I use them a lot. And then I have a scrap of basic white that I'll be stamping on. And I also already pre-cut a couple of other pieces that I'll show those when we get to it. So to start off, I'm going to first get my bone folder that I need to crease my card base. I'm going to fold that and burnish it. Put that aside. And then for my pieces of DSP, I am going to bring in a stamp and seal. And I'm going to add some on here. And I'm going to place my 2 outer ones down first. And then I'll put my middle one in last so that way I can have an even distribution of these 3 pieces. Put that right there. And then we'll add our last piece. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. And then on this piece here, now what I have done, I have already die cut a couple of pieces from the dies. I can pick it up. I have out of pecan pie this branch piece, and then out of lemon lolly I had die cut the beehive. So on this branch piece, I'm going to add a little glue to my branch. And I'm going to place that right about here. And then let me bring in my scissors. And I'm going to trim this off. Trim it a little bit better. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it to my sweet sorbet. So as you can see off to my right here, I have a whole bunch of my Stampin' Blends over there. So we're going to be doing some coloring for all of our critters. Okay, and then on this piece here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a little bit of dimension to my beehive. So I'm going to bring in my dark Lemon Lolly blend, and I'm just going to add some flicks on the outer edges of it. And then in the middle, I'll just color that in. Now what'll happen, this color will dissipate a little bit, so it won't be as dark, so it'll just be subtle. Okay. And then for this, I'm going to take a dimensional. So I'll take 2 for this. And I'll go ahead and I'll attach that as soon as I just realized, let's put this down first before I put that on there. Make it a little bit easier that I don't have this lump underneath the cardstock when I'm trying to put adhesive on it. So I'm going to center that right there. Okay, and then I'll take my beehive and I'll place that right there. Okay, so now let's put that aside and we're going to do some stamping. So here's that really cute bear, and I'm going to stamp him in basic gray ink. So for all of my critters that I'm using tonight, I'll be using the basic gray to stamp them and then color them in with the blends. Okay, he's really cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do something I experimented when I was creating these projects. So I've seen some demonstrators do some coloring where they color in the image with their Stampin' Blends, and then they would use the watercolor pencils to just add a little bit of, like the fur and the dimensions and all that. But I tried doing some coloring with the pencil first. So I have Cajun Craze, Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to color where the area would be darker, so kind of like where the shadows are. I'll just add some here. We'll kind of go wherever there would be a shadow. Okay, we'll do here. And we'll go right around his snout. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be perfect in how I'm doing this. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my scratch paper because now I'm going to color with my blends. So for his body, I'm going to use the light pecan pie, and I'm just going to color over where I colored with the pencil. thought it just looked really neat the way it blended. And I don't know if it's actually, um, like how water would react when you take it to these pencils, but it just seems like it does blend it a bit. So instead of using like the lighter and the darker and kind of blending them together, I'm just doing it with the pencils. I hope everyone's been, well, it's the end of the week now, so I hope everyone had a good week. My week was so-so. It's been very busy, so Um, as I mentioned, next week I will be attending the Onstage event in Houston. And so I've been really busy these past, well, few days getting my videos, kind of completed, pre-recorded and scheduled, and also working on my swap cards. So I am creating 100 of them. And if you watched my live last Friday, I used the Rock and Roll Suite collection. And the last card that I created was actually my swap card. So they're coming together. I don't have a whole lot to do, but what's left is a little bit tedious. So my goal is to get them done this weekend. Okay, so let's see, for his paw, I am going to use, let's see, what color is this? I'm going to use my number, this is 900. Now, when Stampin' Up! First came out with these skin tone colored ones, they had them as numbers, but this is light. So 900 and 1000 are part of the light collection. And so I'm going to color in part of his paw, and then I'm also going to color in his snout. And then I'll do his ears as well. Okay. And then for for the other part of his paw, I'm going to bring in the dark pecan pie. And I'm going to color around. See, if this was a pre-recorded, this is where I'd be speeding it up. And it's funny when I do the pre-records and I speed up the parts, especially with the coloring. Man, if I could only color that fast and have it be that neat, that would be amazing. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my real red pencil, and I'm going to kind of do the shadow areas of the honey pot. But it is really cool to watch myself color that fast when I speed it up. Okay, and then we'll do in here. And then right here, and I'll do the very bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in, let's see, Sweet Sorbet Dark. And I'm going to kind of blend that pencil mark that I did. A little earlier today, I was watching um, Erica Serwin's. Well, it was. I didn't watch it while she was live. I watched the replay of it, and somebody, they were kind of talking about, the on-stage event, and Erica mentioned that, she was making 24 swap cards, and I'm bringing in my light sweet sorbet now. And one of her watchers on there uh, said that she was making 500 swap cards. I mean, they're not all identical, but 500 of them. And I was like, wow. I mean, I thought my 100 was a lot, but wow, I mean 500, that's amazing. That's a lot of work. Okay, but they're probably simple. They're probably not, a Carla swap card, because to give you an idea, this is Carla's swap card. So yeah, a lot of embossing and die cutting, and yeah, but it's super duper cute, and I love it. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my dark lemon lolly, and I'm going to color in this honey here. Okay, so he's all colored. Now, like I said, it does come with a coordinating die, but I've already taking care of it. Now, a difference in this, when I did the original one, I had stamped him in pecan pie and then colored him in, but then you can see that you don't really see much of the outline. I think I like the basic gray better on it, but since I've already got him done and already colored in, I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals again, and I'm going to add a few on here. Okay, and then I'll just place him on my card. Okay, and I'll add him right there. And then I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to add some to this beehive, and then I'm going to add some to the honey, and then I'll even add some to his nose. Okay, and then I'm going to embellish this with the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I love these things. I use these a lot too. So on here, I'm going to add a few of these. So I'm going to take one of these larger ones. Hold on, I got something on that tip. I'm going to take one of my larger ones, and I'm actually going to put it over that opening area of my beehive. And then I'm going to take Want to place it, let's see, up here. And then one of my small ones over here. Okay, so there is the first card. So let me put this aside and let me clean my stamp and get the stamp the things that we need for our next one. Okay. So for my next one, let's see, my stamp set. We're done with our bear. So for this one, I'll be using the bunny, and I think that's a hamster. And let's see, I think, yeah, that's all we need for that one. Let's bring in my blocks. So we don't need that big one. Before going live, I gave all my blocks a bath. They needed it. When I don't clean the stamp and scrub, then yeah, they end up getting they get like the residual color that's in that stamp and scrub, and they start to look yucky and you can't see through them. Okay, so for my next card, let's see. Okay, so I got all my pieces. All right, so I have a piece of Balmy Blue that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. And then I have a piece of Pool Party that measures 5 by 3.75. And I already embossed that using one of those other embossing folders. And then I have some scraps of basic white, lemon lolly, and where's my other pieces? I got something missing here. And I also have fresh Freesia and bubble bath. So for my scrap, I'm going to stamp in basic gray my two little critters. Put in there. And then we'll take the hamster, the gerbil, whatever that is, and I'll stamp him. Okay. All right, so then for my bunny, instead of using a pencil on this one, I am going to bring in my light gray granite blend. I find that the light gray granite is actually lighter than the light smoky slate. So the shadow areas on him, I'm going to color that in with my light gray granite. I'm just doing some simple coloring on these. Okay, we got his little arms. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my color lifter, and I'm just going to go over what I did with the gray granite just to soften those lines up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so then what's next? I'm going to bring in my dark bubble bath and I'll do a bit of his ear, inside of his ears, and do the little nose. And actually, I'll do the little nose of my hamster as well. And then for the little tiny cherry that's on the cupcake that he's holding, I'm using my light Melon Mambo. And for the frosting on that cupcake, I'm going to bring in the light lemon lolly. Color that in. And then for the cupcake holder, let's see, I'm going to bring in the light Parakeet Party, and I'll also be using, let's see, Tahitian Tide, and I use the Sweet Sorbet. These are in colors that are actually retiring with this current annual catalog. They think was that catalog good till the end of April, I believe. So if you really like these in colors like I do, then I would suggest, ordering those anything that's with those in colors. So there's these pearl embellishments. There's the twine that I'll be using actually for this card. And what else? There's some papers and some other things that, well, the cardstocks, the reinkers, the markers, and all that. So if you like these colors, you may want to get them sooner than later, because when they sell out, it's a 50-50 if they'll restock it. Okay, so our bunny is done. Let me bring in, let's see, what did I do for I got my finished card up here. Let me pull that out. Okay, so for my hamster, I'm going to bring in that Cajun Craze pencil again. And just like I did on my bear, I'm just going to do kind of like the outline. So for the trip to Houston, a friend and myself, we're driving, and it's going to be about a 10-hour drive, but of course, we're going to be stopping, got to stretch out our legs and all that. And yeah, once we're there for that, then it's like basically you get in the room, then we got to go and get our kind of check in for on stage, and then it starts like at 4, then goes to 5:30, and then at 7, I believe, or 7:30, we actually signed up for this optional class type of thing that will go to 10 o'clock. So I'll tell you what, Thursday we are going to be exhausted. And then, of course, we have a full day on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I needed those 2 days off after I come back. So, okay, so for my hamster, let's see, I am going to use, what color did I use for him? I have the 600, which is also the medium, and I'm going to color part of him with this color. So I had like I mentioned earlier, that next Friday's video. It won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded. Later on this month, what day is it? March 29th. Our church is doing our Good Friday service. So I will be going to that. So I won't be here to do the live, but I will be doing a pre-record for that. And actually, the set that I will be using is the Easter lilies. And then wait a minute, nope, hold on. The 22nd, I'm using the Easter lily set. And then the following day on the Saturday, the 23rd at 11 a.m., if you are watching this and you are, local in the Memphis area, I will be doing an in-person class also featuring the Easter lilies bundle. And then on the 29th, which is Good Friday, that one will be, like I said, it'll be pre-recorded, and that one I'm going to be using the Excellent Eggs bundle that's in our mini catalog. And yeah, because I need to be at church that night. So I'm now using my light number 900, and I'm going to do the fur on his face and his little feet. Oh, and let's do his ears. Okay, and then for the balloon, I'm going to bring in the dark lemon lolly. Okay, so that's them colored. Now, to save some time, I have already gone ahead and die cut them. Now, on my hamster, what I did do is I die cut one of the balloons out of the lemon lolly, and I attached it, and I used the dimensional on that one. I also had die cut two more balloons, one out of Bubble Bath and one out of Fresh Freesia. Then out of the Stylish Shapes dies, I had die cut one of the larger squares in the basic white and one of the smaller circles in basic white. So on my circle, and I didn't pull out that stamp, let's see, I'm going to be taking the one out of Days to Remember, and I want the one that says, It's Your Day. Okay, and let me get my block. And I'm going to stamp this in basic gray as well. Okay. And then I'm also using I mentioned I was using the twine. So this is the 2022-2024 in color Baker's Twine pack. You get a bolt of each of the colors, and I'm going to be using the Tahitian Tide one. So those two will be going away. So for my twine, I'm going to cut two pieces. And let me get my balloons. And I'm going to add my twine on there, and I'm going to adhere these to the back of the balloon using a dimensional. Okay, and then this one, Don't know why I just threw that in there when I'm not done with them yet. Okay, and then I'm going to add some to the back of all these pieces here. Okay. All right, so let's kind of get this card put together. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. And then I'm going to take this piece of Pool Party, and actually what I'm going to do, instead of using this raised embossed side, I'm going to use the debossed side of it. Okay, and then I'm going to center that. Okay, and then for this square shape, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. I'm going to add that, be about here. And then I'm going to take my greeting piece, and I'm going to add that down here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my hamster, and I'll add him right over here. And then my bunny, I'll add him over to this side. So, and then for my balloons, let's see, I'm going to take, let's see, my fresh Freesia one, and I want to put that about there. And my bubble bath one, I'm going to place right over here. Now for my two strings, I'm going to knot them together. Like so. And then I'm going to take it and just tuck it under my bunny like that. And then I'll go ahead and I will trim. Okay, so we're not done. We still got to embellish some. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to color in this cupcake. And then I'm going to add some to my balloons. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in these iridescent rhinestones again. And I'm going to add a few onto my card. This one, will place it there. And this one will place right there. Okay. So that is the second card. Very springy like. That would make a great Easter card as well. Just change up the greeting to something else. Okay, so all right, let's see. What did I do with, hold on here. Everything's like a big mess. when I do the pre-records, it's nice because I just stop and then I clean up and then pull everything out that I need for the next one. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, I put it over there. I'm telling you, I'm getting all confuzzled. Wow, that is, hold on a second. This is really, so off to my left, I have my computer on, and so I'm watching the video, and that's where I'm seeing the comments, and it still has me coloring the hamster. And I did that. I mean, I know there's a little bit of a delay, but that's a pretty long delay. Okay, so let me bring in my stamp and scrub, and let me quickly clean these stamps off. Yeah, because right to my, well, right here on my desk that I'm working at, I also have my tablet, but that's showing me cleaning the stamps. So yeah, the computer is like really, really delayed. Okay, it looks like it's caught up now. Okay, so let me bring in the stuff for my last card. Well, actually, let me get rid of these stamps and put them away and pull out what I'll need. So for this one, I'm going to use the cat and I'm going to use the bird. Pull him off. Okay. And let's see. And then I need, out of the days to remember, I need the stamp that says happy birthday. Okay. Now let's see. I need my bigger blocks. And we just need another one for that. We don't need anything big. Okay. So now I think we're good to go. So for this card, I have a piece of Melon Mambo that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. I have a piece of Bubble Bath that's been embossed with another one of those embossing folders from that same pack. That's in Bubble Bath, and that measures 5.25 by 4. Then I have a scrap piece of basic white that I'll be doing my stamping and my coloring on. So let me go ahead and fold and burnish this. When I saw the cat in this set, I figured, okay, I'm going to do this one early, so I'm making this one into a birthday card. A coworker of mine, she loves cats and she loves pink, so this card is going to be perfect for her. Actually, I know someone else whose birthday is coming up, and their favorite color is pink, and they like cats. I wonder, yeah, I think she knows that I'm talking about her. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this bubble bath piece onto my card base, and I will set that aside. So on here, I'm going to bring in my cat, and I'm going to bring in the bird, and I'm going to bring in the basic gray, and I'm going to stamp both of these. Put my cat over here. And then my little bird. Okay. And then I want to leave some area up here because that's where I'm going to have my greeting piece, but that piece is going to be die cut, and then I will stamp the greeting on it. Okay, so to color this in, I have, let's see, for my bird, I have the Balmy blue watercolor pencil. So these pencils, there's a couple that's in the assortment 1, and then there's some in the assortment 2. And you can find these in our annual catalog. So just like the other ones, I'm just using my pencil to color where the shadow areas are, just to make that a little bit darker. And I think this little bird, just by him having this little part right here on top of his head, is a blue jay. I love blue jays, and I love cardinals, and I love owls, and I love squirrels. So I really love these critter sets that we come out with. And this one is especially really cute. Okay. All right. And then for his body, I'm going to bring in the dark Tahitian tide. And I'm just going to go over what I did with the pencil. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my light Tahitian tide, and I'm going to blend the rest of my bird in with this. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dark lemon lolly to do his beak. Okay, so for my cat, I'm going to bring in my pumpkin pie watercolor pencil, and I'm going to use this to do the shadow areas. And Stampin' Up! Has made it easy for me in the image where they had done these little hash marks or dash marks, whatever you want to call them, on the image. Okay, I'll put a little bit the shadow on top of his paw, and we'll add some here. I'll line the pot. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in, let's see, my dark lemon lolly, and I'm going to blend that out some. Do his paw. And let's do his tail. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with, blend that out a little bit. You can see that it actually moves those pencil lines. It's really neat. And it was just plain. I mean, I didn't know what the result was going to be. The idea for this card came from um, the concept artist at Stampin' Up. There is a Instagram page that the name of it escapes me as to exactly what it is, but they did something with this image and similar colors, but they did it as a watercolor. And I thought, well, let me try this out. I know like our Stampin' Blend in Pumpkin Pie is pretty dark. So I just played and I liked the result that came out when I did my sample. So yeah, so I don't know if anybody else has ever done it where they use the pencil to kind of just do the shading before coloring with the blends. I've seen them use it after, but not before. So yeah, I just played. That's how all these really cool, interesting new techniques come from. Just by someone playing and seeing what the end result would be. Okay, so my cat is all colored in. He's cute. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in, let's see, my light from Cake, and I'm going to do this face part in that. And then for his nose, I'm going to do the dark bubble bath. And then for the pot, I'm going to bring in the Melon Mambo pencil. And on here, I'm going to do the same thing with the shadow areas. Do this side too. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the light Melon Mambo, and I'm going to do the center of that flower. And then I'm going to fill in this pot. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dark Parakeet Party, and I'm going to do the leaf. And I see that I got a missing spot on his paw, so let me bring in the dark Lemon Molly to fill that in. Okay, and let's see. What else do I got here? Okay, so that's those pieces. I have already gone ahead and die cut them, so let me set those aside. So there's my cat, and then my little bird, and then I've also die cut already the stylus shapes, the largest, I believe this is the largest circle out of the basic white. And then out of my scrap of Parakeet Party, I die cut these two grass pieces. This is part of the set of dies. And then let's see, I've already gone ahead and die cut out of the tailor-made tag, one of the smaller tags, and I stamped the happy birthday in Melon Mambo. Okay, so for this piece, I created some grass, like a grassy area towards the bottom. So I'm going to take these two pieces and I want to put them on my circle, and I want to line them up so they touch, and it's going to give me an idea where to color my grass. So I'm going to bring in my light and dark Parakeet Party, and I'm just going to add some stroke marks with my marker. Not doing anything perfect, just adding some color, like so. And then I'm going to bring in my dark one, and I'm going to add some strokes in there. And then I'm just going to add just a couple of flick marks on the grass. Okay. And that will actually lighten up a little bit. Okay, so let me set that aside. And I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. And on this piece, I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. And I'm going to add just a little bit along this bottom edge. And I'm going to add, see, is that good? Down a little bit. Okay, there's the one. And I'll add this one right over here. Okay, we're done with our glue. And then let's see, for my cat, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of him. These I didn't pop up. Okay, and then I'm going to add him. I'm going to tuck his paws behind those blades of the grass. See, about there. And then the bird, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue on him. And I'm going to tuck him behind the grass over here. Like so. That is really, really cute. You know, with the light hitting it, that's really, really bright, and I really like that. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to add some to the back, this circle. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this right here. I'll put it up a little bit. I'll place it right there. And then I'm going to bring in my Stella, and I'm going to add some to the flower and also to the pot. When you add the Stella over something you colored, it really makes that color pop, makes it a little more vibrant. Okay, and then let's see, so for this tag that I've already die cut, I'm going to embellish that up a little bit. So I am using the Sweet Sorbet metallic woven ribbon. This too is going to be retiring with the catalog. I really love this. A few years ago we had the same similar type of ribbon, but it was in copper. And I remember when it came out, it was part of a coffee suite, and I really liked that this ribbon. And when they came out with this in these colors, it was like I loved it. As a matter of fact, this is one of the things that I want to make sure I get more of before it goes away. Okay, so for this, I am going to kind of fold it in half, and I'm going to bring it from behind. And I have my loop, and then I'm going to come through with the two ends like so. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to place that about there. So I want to trim this. And then what I want to do is, because it's the way it's woven, I'm going to separate it. And I really like the way this looks. I mean, you can just separate it a little bit, and then you can actually put it all back together again, which I think is really cool. So this is the Sweet Sorbet color, but it actually looks more pink than red. So I'm just going to separate some of these a little bit. So that way we got all of these loose threads. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to add two of them on the back of that. And then I'm going to add this tag right. Make sure that's pulled tight. I'm going to place that right there. I'll separate that a little bit, like so. And then for my embellishments, I am going to bring in, now this is a tongue twister, this one. These are the brushed brass butterflies, and I'm going to use these on this card. So I'm going to add a large one over here, and then I'm going to take a tiny one and put that over there, and then I'll bring in another tiny one, and I'll add this one right onto my tag. Okay, so let me kind of move some of these things out of the way. There's our third card, a really bright, cheerful card, perfect for those who love pink and love cats. And I now know two people that fall into that category. So let me bring in the other cards that we made. So here's the one we did with the cute chubby bear. And then we did the one with the bunny and gerbil or hamster. I don't know. It looks like either one. So So we did a fun like birthday type card with that one. It's also a perfect spring card or Easter card just by changing out the greeting. And then my third one with the cat and the bird. So that's our projects for tonight. So if you like these projects and you would like the free card kit for these, it is a minimum $35 order. Order by March 13th at midnight. Now, when I first started doing these, I did have a host code. So I decided from last week that I'm no longer going to do the host codes because the host codes are eventually going to be going away. Stampin' Up's doing a little bit of changing. So I figured instead of just continually, setting up a new host code and then closing it, I just decided, okay, I'm just not going to use them anymore. So any order of a minimum of $35 by Wednesday the 13th, and I will send out all of these card kits. Now, what I won't do is if you want to make them exactly the way that I got them, you will need the stamp set. So there's the stamp set, and you will also need the set of dies. Now, the other pieces, like these pieces that are embossed, like the circle and square that I've die cut, even like these balloons, and the honey, the beehive. I want to keep saying honeycomb. For those pieces, I will go ahead and die cut those. It's just these images that are stamped. I can't, per Stampin' Up rules, I cannot pre-stamp the images for you. So, so if you like these projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing the channel because with the interaction with the videos that I do, it does go into the feeds for people that, kind of enjoy like the crafting type videos. And it also just helps me build my Stampin' Up business here in Memphis. Now, again, I do have a newsletter that I do every month, and I just sent one out at the beginning of this month. And in that newsletter, I do have in there, I do a monthly Christmas card club that I do on the first Saturday of each month. If that's something, the whole idea behind that is creating the Christmas cards throughout the year instead of like waiting when it gets closer to Christmas and then it turns out you run out of time and then you don't get them done. So that's the purpose of that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and you're local to me here in the Memphis, Tennessee area, um, my email address is in the description of this video. Reach out to me and I'll be happy to send more information to you about that. And also, like I mentioned earlier, on Saturday, March 23rd at 11 a.m., I am having an in-person class using the Easter Lilies bundle. Let me show you what that bundle is. It's this one right here. So we'll be making 3 projects with this. So again, if you are in the Memphis area and you are interested in attending this class, it is a free class. At the moment, my classes are free. In-person classes are free. So if you are interested, again, my email is below in the description. Just send me an email letting me know that you're interested. So I have the RSVP set on that for Monday, March 18th. Okay, so that's it, everyone. I thank you for joining me, and you all have a blessed one. Bye bye.